Welcome to hell, everyone. I'm here in Beppu, fresh from Miyazaki City. It was a good 3 hours, 15 minutes or 20 minutes train ride. And I thought I actually was going to miss my connection because my train, surprisingly, was 7 minutes late into Oita, where I had to do the change. But they held back the train to Beppu by 7 minutes. So I was able to make it, which surprised me. So I am in Kanawa Onsen district where there are a few hells which I'm going to check out, and I actually ended up buying a 2-day bus pass because I think it was going to be more economical, and also it's just easier. You can use an IC card if you want to, but if I'm going to save a little bit of money, then why not? And also it helps you not have to fumble about with extra coins on the bus and just show the pass. It's super easy, no communication needed if you have a 2-day pass. And I've also got myself a Hells 6 Hells pass also, which I exchanged for a little pamphlet, which I then exchange at each hell that I visit, if that makes any sense. So you can collect stamps if you are interested. I'm not too interested just because I don't want to carry paper with me and I don't want to be fumbling in my bag every single time that there's a stamp. So you can, it's fun. I've done it before. I'm over the stamping in Japan, I must say. I love places like this. I love the whole, volcanic thing. Maybe it's because in my country we don't have it, and therefore there's a whole, newfound respect for nature because I just don't see this every day. But it's pretty cool. And every time I go to a hell in Japan, I always think that I'm like on another planet or something. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is probably one of the most wild things I've read. The force of the steam is so strong here that about 1.5 train cars can be pulled by its pressure, and it creates ideal conditions for breeding crocodiles. Seriously, I don't know if you know this, but I have a fear of crocodiles and alligators. So really, I hope there's nothing here. I've never heard of alligators and crocodiles in Japan. Do they even exist here? For goodness sake. No, go away. Stop looking at me. No. No. Boy, oh boy, had I known that there was going to be real crocodiles in there, I might not have actually even gone in there. You've got no idea how terrified I was. Seriously, I think crocodiles, alligators, my number one fear in the world, I swear. So even behind those cages, and every now and then they would sort of like splash about and fight, and I could feel my heart. Anyway, I'm out, I'm safe, I've survived. No more crocodiles, hopefully, for the rest of my life. That's it. Japan, I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't know what you're thinking back there. Oh, it's hot. It's hotter than I expected it to be. Let me just it's hotter than I expected it to be. Onsen tamago. Let's give it a go. I'm gonna crack it up here. Check out the color. Oh, inside. I think I need some salt. This is sort of a healthy snack. Very interestingly, this reminds me of roasted chestnut flavor. I don't know why. It's really good. Exploring all of these hells or ponds has been really interesting and fascinating. So I would give yourself probably a good 2.5 hours to be realistic to do the ones up here near the bus stop. There are 2 or 3 other ones that are a little bit further away, and I'm not very sure if I'm going to do them because they're a good 20-minute bus drive away or a 45-minute walk, which I am definitely not going to do in this heat. So interesting how nature can change. The white pond is no longer white, it's now green, and they apologize for the fact that there's some natural algae living in the pond. You don't have to apologize. It's part of nature. Just change the name to the green, sometimes white pond or something like that. So I was recommended this place where you can eat like naturally steamed foods, but I actually went to the vending machine and ordered what I wanted. But when I went and gave the ticket at the counter, they said it was going to be a 40-minute wait. And if I wanted a refund, and I was like, yes, I want a refund. What's your take on that? Would you have waited 40 minutes? What's your sort of like limit when it comes to waiting? Everyone has a different limit, I guess. I would, I've already eaten some steamed eggs, tamago, earlier on, so I sort of feel like I've ticked that box, if that makes any sense. What would you have done? I'm just interested. I'm going to find a second recommendation from the tourist board. It's a cafe, not necessarily like uniquely themed or anything, but it doesn't matter. Last case scenario, I'll just get something from the combini. I really don't want to waste time, waiting around. Okay, I think I've won on this one because I've come to this place called Enma, and they told me that the waiting time was half an hour, which is 10 minutes less than the other place. It looks rather quiet, to be honest, only a few other customers. So I'm hoping that they're just being a little bit, a little bit careful with the timing and that it's not going to take half an hour. Either way, I am sitting in my own personal table with a foot bath. So, bonus. Pretty cool. Whilst I wait here for my food, I thought I'd make use of my time. So what I've done is I'm getting all of the information that I think I want to check out from all of those paper maps and pamphlets that I hate so much, and creating a list on Google Maps and adding little markers so that I can not have to look at those papers and just follow the map and check out the map. By the way, if you don't know this already, I use Sakura Mobile. It's I have an affiliate link. I'll include the QR code. It's a really great way of staying connected using Google Maps, translating, etc. And I highly recommend it. It's really made the big difference on this trip, being able to find bus routes and also being able to check out the map and follow the map. And that did not take 30 minutes, it was more like 10. Japan, you do it again. I am so glad that I ended up eating in that place. Firstly, because it only took like 10 or 15 minutes rather than 40 minutes for the food to come. And it was so much more chill. It just didn't feel like I don't want to say tourist trap, but like the tourist center that the other location was, where it just felt like it was just full and overrun with tourists. This was a much nicer experience. Plus I got the foot bath, so that was pretty cool. But I am in Beppu, and that means only one thing. I am going to look for some hot spring to do before I go to my hotel, or my onsen hotel, ryokan, where I have my own personal hot spring too. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit spoiled on this trip. Onsen number 1. Okay, so the very first onsen I've just come out from was advertised as a herb onsen, which my expectations were, like an onsen full of herbs. Little did I know that I was gonna end up lying down in what I would describe as a manger or like hay in a room that's a little bit like a sauna. So that's what they meant by a herb onsen, lying down between 8 and 10 minutes in a sauna, but really the floor was full of some kind of grass or weed or whatever, or hay or whatever it was. It was interesting. I just wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But that's what I like about these sort of places, just, doing the unexpected. After which I did have a bath in a normal onsen, but I'm going to go to another onsen that's been recommended to me. And I think it's a normal onsen, but let's find out. Obviously, I can't film inside, so I'll leave it to your imagination. Staying in traditional accommodation is very highly recommended because you'll really get a good feel for Japan. I'm staying in a ryokan with an onsen, and staying in Japanese traditional accommodation is highly recommended. I have my own personal hot tub looking out over the ocean. There's an area for your luggage, because you must remember that you can never put your luggage or heavy things or things that can scratch your tatami, keep away from the tatami. Quite a big genkan area for your shoes and a separate sink area. Hello everyone. Where you can wash your face or shave, etc., brush your teeth, plus a toilet, obviously. And it's also important to note that this type of accommodation, a ryokan with a hot spring attached, usually will have its own hot spring baths. And this one has one on the top floor, beautiful, large, two large baths inside and one large bath outside that you can make use of, which I highly recommend that you try out. Okay, a little bit of an update. It's another day. So yesterday I checked into my hotel after doing some onsen, which was pretty nice. And my hotel actually had an onsen, and my room has its own like onsen hot tub sort of thing with a beautiful view over the ocean. So I'm quite pleased about that. But this morning I've just come from getting myself my breakfast, which I'll show you in a minute. But it was recommended by a local person, and I totally recommend that you ask people where you should go. This place is called Tomonaga Pan. Tomonaga Pan is called, and it's a bakery, and there was a queue, which usually is a good sign of good things. But most importantly, this place was recommended by a local person. So guess what I bought? Guess. So let's give this a go. I am standing on the street. Do not judge me. But I'm not walking and eating. That's the important thing. So, dun dun dun. So the very first thing that I bought, surprise surprise, is some melon pan. What I wasn't expecting is for it to be so small. I'm not gonna lie. But I was told that it's interesting bread. So first of all, it's not like crispy like I usually like it, but it seems to be very fluffy. So let's see. Okay, I give this a 7.5 out of 10 for melon pan. If it was crispy in the outside, that would be a whole different thing. And I was recommended this bun with anko inside, warm. Oh, this I can get behind. This is good. 8 out of 10. So I guess that was my breakfast, and I'm not complaining about that, but I'm going to complain about one thing, and that is, not a complaint, just an observation for those of you who might be coming to Japan and are interested in this, and that is that coffee in Japan before 10 in the morning or even before 11 in the morning can be quite difficult to find. So I've just had my little bit of breakfast. I'm in need of coffee. There's nowhere open. Most places will open at 10, 10:30 or 11. And the only place that I've seen that is open is a Starbucks, which I'm fine with. It's a little bit out of the way though, but it's coffee. So I've come to Jizoyu Maya area. Seems to be so much quieter than the area that I was in yesterday, but I was recommended that I head to Okamotoya for some pudding. And yes, pudding is quite a big thing in Japan, but I was specifically told that this one was good, so let's give it a go. It's nice, I'm not gonna lie, but you see, we have puddings like this back home, and I'm not very sure if some other places around the world don't have this style of pudding, or it's not very common, and therefore it's a big deal. For me, I can get this sort of thing back home. Not to say it's not nice, it's nice. Beppu buses are pretty good. I'm quite impressed how often, you know, they sort of like operate. So you can get to most places in Beppu relatively quickly, and they are mostly on time. There's been 1 or 2 times where they've been a little bit delayed, but there is a QR code and you can check the status of the bus and it will tell you when it's coming. So everything is really easy in that respect. So I went to an onsen that I overheard people talking about called Hoyoland, and I'm glad I went because it was, first of all, it was a little bit expensive, 1,500 yen to enter, but the experience was pretty cool. What I mean is it was really old school, like I'm talking about mud baths, milky water, nothing fancy. It felt a little bit run down, but it felt super authentic. It smelled the way that you expect an onsen to smell, and there was even a mixed bath where the men enter through one side, the women enter through another side, and then there's like a barrier of maybe 2 or 3 meters between you, because the water's so milky that you can actually bathe in the same water, obviously with that little divide. So that was quite interesting, and I'm glad that I went there. Afterwards, I also overheard some people talking about a fragrance museum, and I thought, why not? That's something that I've never really done before. So that fragrance museum sort of blew me away because it was 3 stories in total, so 3 floors, and you could smell, it went for the history of how perfume was made, how it was brought to the world, and not only that, but you could actually smell, and there was an opportunity for you to make your own fragrance, but I was a little bit late and I wasn't able to. I really wanted to, but hey, it's one of those things. And now I'm back in the center of Beppu, and I am gonna go up Beppu Tower. So, if you've been following me for some time now, then you know that I usually say that going up a tower or a viewpoint or something like that in a city, in a town, is a really good way of getting your bearings. And I still hold that as true. You know, I think it's a really good way of getting to know how big the city is, what areas might look interesting from high up. This time round, I actually did it sort of like in the middle of my trip. Should have done it in the beginning, to be honest, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm actually going to go back to my ryokan, have a little bit of a break, and I'm going to meet up somebody who lives here in Beppu, so I'm really looking forward to that. But for now, I think it's going to be a stay positive and be a happy gaijin moment, because tomorrow I'm back in Tokyo. So thanks for watching, stay positive and be a happy gaijin. Bye everyone.